Everything you want is already. Everything you want is already. Everything you want is already. Here, 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 here. Energy, hold tight. Feel it in my bones when it's out of sight. Fortified for the ride. Yearning for everything all the time. Yeah, the goal is what I see. But I fall in love with the journey. It overflows, and here's the key. So that you can dig into this treasury. Tune into the vision by moving with imagination. Checking when emotion saying I'm closer to its manifestation. And with the dash of I'm so grateful, watch you drop into the physical. Everything you want is already here. Here, here, here. Everything you want is already here, here, here. Everything you want is already here. Here, here, here. Everything you want is already here, here, here. I melt when you hold me. Whisper in your ear that I am near. Your warmth brings me great relief. Toe to toe with you, may I be always, always be. And you ain't gotta work hard, baby, let go. It's already handled from the get-go. Just keep this memory central. And show up, yeah, let the vibe send you. And you ain't gotta work hard, baby, let go. It's already handled from the get-go. Just keep this memory central. And show up, yeah, let the vibe send you. Everything you want is already here. Here, here, here. Everything you want is already here, here, here. Everything you want is already here. Here, here, here. Everything you want is already here, here, here. Here, here, here. Here.
Hit me with my technical difficulties. Hello, Healthy Tribe. It is me. It's Christy Latre, and I am back. And here we are. We made it through day 1, 2, 3. Now we're on day 4. Yes, day 4. I'm so excited about day 4. But before we get started, we are just going to recap what we did yesterday. All right. Yesterday was moving my body every day. Master moving my body every single day. Okay. So there are, just to recap, we have 4 habits, and these 4 habits will lead to mastering your body, looking good, and feeling amazing. Habit number 1 is master my mindset. Habit number 2, master my sleep. Habit number 3, master moving my body every single day. And what we learned is our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions, and of course our beliefs, are all interconnected with our body. Okay, with our body. And with the habit of moving our body every day, it doesn't have to look like the gym. It doesn't have to look like picking up weights. It doesn't have to look like anything that we think of when we think of the typical fitness type lifestyle. Okay, moving your body every single day is a part of your lifestyle, and you can fit it in just however you like to move. That's the best type of exercise. It's the exercise that you will do, all right? Not that you'll think about doing, not that you will overplan doing, not that you might have to save up so that you can do it. No, none of that stuff. That's excuses. And we are not living in excuses. All right. So, for instance, what I practice and what I train my clients to practice, you're my client now, okay? You're my friends and you're my client, you're my tribe, is metaphysical fitness. And metaphysical fitness just means incorporating the mind, body, spirit into everything that we do. So, for instance, how does this work? How does it work? All right. Let's say you're just feeling depressed. You're just feeling down. You're just like, oh, I just don't have the umph to get up and do anything. And if you were my client, I would say, you know what? We need to start processing more joy in your body. So today we're going to do cardio, because cardio gets the blood moving, and the blood represents joy in our body. So once we get our blood pumping and moving, you're going to have an emotional shift, and then you're going to be able to do the things that you want to do in life. All right. You're going to feel so much better after you have that cardio style workout. So that's the way it works. We just incorporate with how we feel. We're going to do fitness that gets us to shift and shift and shift until it becomes a habit. Weight training, we learned that weight training creates strength in our body and in our life, right? We learned that. So let's say you're getting pushed over a lot, and I talk to you and I'm like, what are you, a doormat? You're like, I'm just too nice. I just don't know how to say no. I'm just overwhelmed. I keep saying yes. Well, it sounds like you lost your personal power. And you know what represents personal power? Your glutes, your booty. So what we're going to do, we're going to start working on strengthening your glutes. You don't even have to think about it, because as you strengthen your glutes and as it represents your personal power, you're going to start having the confidence, the power to stand up for yourself and to stand in who you are. That's how this stuff works, guys. The way that we've traditionally been doing fitness, it can work for some, but for a lot of us, this style is more effective to really work as a part of our lifestyle and to get us in the mode of being who we are designed to be. All right. So we are going to move on, because I have a lot to cover today. All right. So today we are going to start with habit number 4. This is the final habit. In the comment section, tell me what you think it is. I'm sure you know by now, because we can't master our body if we don't master what we're putting in our body, right? So habit number 4 is master my nutrition. Master my nutrition. Now, I just want you to take a quick survey of what you're currently doing. All right. What are you currently doing? On average, I eat blank number of servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. How many servings of fruit and veggies do you eat? Do you even know what a serving is? Do you even eat fruits and veggies? All right, answer that. You can answer it in the chat. You could answer it to yourself. You could write it on a piece of paper, whatever works for you. Let's make this easy, because I love setting up the easy wins, because that gives us the evidence and the experience that it works, and we will continue doing that. All right. So on average, I drink blank servings of unsweetened drinks daily. Are you one of those people who your drinks have to be sweet? Are you one of those people? Do you drink unsweetened drinks? All right. Unsweetened drinks, water mainly. But if you don't like water, there's plenty of things that you can do to jazz up that water. All right. To jazz up the liquids that you're drinking. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, my energy level is blank on an average day. What is your energy level on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, I cannot get out of bed. I have absolutely no energy. Admit me into the hospital right now. Or 10 being, I'm bouncing off the walls. I have more energy than the Energizer Bunny. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your energy level on an average day? All right. And answer this question as well. What is the healthiest way to eat? What do you think the healthiest way to eat is? All right. So when we talk about nutrition, I get asked this question all the time. Christy, what is the best diet? My answer is always the same. But before we go there, we know there are so many different ways to eat. There's the vegan diet, vegetarian diet. Guys, tell me, what do you think the best diet is? Is it keto? Is it paleo? Is it carbs, low carbs? Intermittent fasting, counting calories, counting macros, carnivore, I only eat meat, even the Mediterranean diet, all right? Eating lots of fish and nuts and healthy, good fats. What do you think the best diet is? So, when it comes to this, I don't know if you know my story, but I was interested, not committed, but I was interested in counting macros and counting calories at certain points of life just to know what I'm doing, not necessarily because I wanted to be on a particular diet. But in the fitness industry, you can't help but get sucked into counting macros and doing all these things. And I had, this is when I worked at a gym. There was my boss, she would carry her scale everywhere. She had this scale that she would even carry with her to restaurants, and she would count her macros. She would see how many grams of protein she's eating and counting her carbs and the fats and doing all of this. And I was just thinking, there's no way that I'm going to live my life like this. I count a lot of things. I like to count money. I like to count my blessings. I even try to count the stars in the sky. There's too many. But one thing that I'm not going to even attempt to count are calories. All right. It doesn't vibe with me, and it's not motivating to me. I don't know if any of you feel this way, but it's just not my thing. So there are lots of different ways that you can eat. But before we go into this, we all know pretty much what to eat, right? We all pretty much know fruits and veggies and lean proteins are the way to go. And there's so much information out there that tells us, what to eat. We can look up recipes. Healthy recipes are right at our fingertips. So why can't we eat better? Why is it that even though I know the apple is better than this juice, why am I still choosing the juice? Even though I know this candy, like if you've ever worked in an office, there's always a candy lady, right? She always has this bowl of candy sitting on her desk, and you cannot pass her office without her saying, please, please eat this candy. I don't want to leave it here. I don't want to eat it all. Why'd you buy it? Why are you trying to make me eat this candy? And of course, we eat it because candy's good, right? We eat it. And how many times are we reaching for the snacks? Are you one of those people who can't watch TV without the snacks, huh? I mean, the sodas, the chips, pizza, burgers, fries, all of this stuff. It's difficult to say no to it. Why can't we eat better? We know better, but we're not doing it. Well, I'm going to uncover some reasons why you cannot eat better, even though you know better, why you're not eating better. All right. First of all, what do you believe about food? What are our limiting beliefs? Whenever there is a point that we know what we should be doing, but we're not doing it, there's some limiting belief that's running our life. All right. It's running in the background of our program, and we need to figure this out before anything else. All right, Anita says she is so bad with sweets, cookies, gummy bears, candy bars. Ooh, Anita, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the good, the lowdown on what that means, all right? But we're talking about limiting beliefs right now. What do you believe about food? You can put it in the chat, you can put it in there. Tell me what it is. So many times people are like, oh, I'm not eating carbs anymore. Carbs are so bad. The whole category of carbs gets such a bad rap, right? Healthy food is nasty. People really believe that. Like if it's healthy, it cannot be good because, I just love food. Everything bad for me tastes so good. Are these things that you ever think that ever just cross your mind? It's so hard to eat healthy. I don't like vegetables. What about that one, huh? What about that one? Well, all right, y'all. Food is connected to our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, and our beliefs. Food is connected to all of that. All right. And because food is connected, we need to listen. Because what happens is our body is actually trying to tell us something from the foods that we crave. Cravings are important notes from the body, and it's it's the body's way of telling us our emotional needs. So a lot of times we know that we're emotional eaters, but do we know what these emotions are that we're trying to feed? Because we're not feeding ourselves because we're hungry. We might actually be hungry, but it's not physically hungry. We're spiritually hungry. We're emotionally hungry. And when we do the work there, the rest of it comes so much easier. All right. They can also be clues, our cravings can be clues as to the limiting beliefs and the negative self talk that may be contributing to our emotional upset. All right. And your emotional upset could be minor. It could just be you're going through something. Maybe someone close to you died, and you know that you're feeding yourself emotionally because you're trying to self soothe. It could be something temporary. Maybe you didn't get the news that you wanted about something and it brought you down. Or it could be a debilitating pattern. And you know that it's a debilitating pattern if you've been dealing with this emotional eating roller coaster for years. All right, that's a pattern now. But our cravings are our guides. And so all we need to do is listen. So we're going to go through some different foods that you may be craving, and we're going to get underneath what it is all about. All right. So crunchy foods. How many of you really crave potato chips? Any of those just things that you can crunch on, and not nuts, like the bad for you crunchy stuff. Well, the emotion underneath crunchy foods is anger. Yes, the emotion underneath crunchy foods is anger. When we get under these emotions and we're able to shift and push through these, not push through them, but just to not let these emotions live in our body, but to let them pass through us. That's the key. All right. Crunchy foods help us act out our anger in a safe way, providing us an outlet so we don't have to deal with the people or the circumstances that cause us to be angry. All right. We're avoiding it so we feed ourselves that crunchy food. What are you getting upset about? Figure that out. Whenever you're craving crunchy foods, ask yourself, what am I angry about? All right. Salty foods. Salty foods, there's an emotion underneath that, and it's fear. All right. We crave salty foods because we want to have more spice in our lives, and we're too scared to take the risk. So we eat. All right. So we eat. Do you over salt your food? Does everything have to be super salty that you're eating? All righty. Next. Where are my breadies, huh? Where are my carb lovers? And when I say carb lovers, guys, I'm talking about, the whites. All right. The white pasta, the white bread, the white potatoes, all of these things that we know are not providing us with nutritional value in our life. Well, when we're craving that big bowl of pasta, what we really want is comfort and safety. Yeah. So, what's more comforting than a warm cinnamon roll? Those mashed potatoes. We call it comfort food for a reason. That bowl of pasta, it just sits in the body so good. It makes you feel good, especially on a cold day if you live in a climate where you get all the seasons. Comfort food is safety, and it's non threatening. It makes you feel comfortable and safe. So, when you're craving these foods, just ask yourself, What else could I do to make me feel comfortable and safe? What else could I do? Sugar. All right. Where are my cookies? Where are my candies? Where are the donuts? Where is that sugar? What you're really craving is not the sugar, it's excitement. All right. Maybe you're just going through the motions in life. Maybe you just have this routine and there's no excitement that's in your life. So when we can't provide excitement for ourselves, sugar does it for us. Sugar takes us on that emotional roller coaster. If we're unable to allow someone else to share joy with us, we can use sugar as a substitute or a playmate, right? And then you have to ask yourself too, hmm, why am I not allowing myself to have some excitement in life? All right, what's underneath that? So, sugar, whenever you're reaching for something sweet, think, where can I put in a boost of excitement in my life? How can I find excitement in other ways? Next, ice cream. All right, dairy, it's the milk, it's the cheese. You like the cheesy foods, the fatty cheeses, the ice cream, the Ben and Jerry's. Yes, we all do this. And what dairy comes down to is love. All right, we have this need to be loved. Our first food was milk. All right, whether it was the mom's milk or what have you, it's rich, it's sugary and fatty. Dairy products represent this unconditional love. All right. Oh, good. Anita said that was spot on. Get some excitement. All right. So with the milk, it represents unconditional love because when we were infants, we were shown that love. All right. We were fed milk and we were given love, all right, during our infancy. So we crave dairy products and foods when we desire unconditional love and protection, and we can't find it in our everyday lives. All right. So think of some ways that you can feel that unconditional love. And maybe it's not reliant on love from the outside, but maybe we just need to love ourselves unconditionally. Are we being too rough on ourselves? Are we talking negatively to ourselves? So whenever you're looking for that ice cream or you're adding the extra cheese, just give yourself a little extra boost of love. Tell yourself you love yourself. Feel love. Do something that represents love to you. All right, next, chocolate. All right, so chocolate, oh my gosh, chocolate is sensual and chocolate represents sexual drive. So when we're reaching for chocolate, what we really want is some passion, some intimacy, some sensuality in our lives. We're sensual and sexual beings, all right? And even if you think you've turned that part of yourself off, it's innate in human beings, all right? Eating chocolate creates a safe way to feel sensual when your life lacks romance. And it's also a substitute for sex and physical love we need, but we might be too frightened to obtain it. All right. So when you're reaching for that chocolate, you know what it is. All right. Next, alcohol. So I have spoken and trained so many people and they're so close to their goals. And what they need to do is the last thing is alcohol. Give up the alcohol. And some people are not willing, or maybe not even give it up, but have less of it. Alcohol represents acceptance. All right. Acceptance. If you don't feel accepted for who you really are, or worse, if you were punished for being yourself when you were young, alcohol can provide an illusion of self acceptance. It can protect you from the perceived dangers of intimacy because we know there's that alcohol barrier. People say the alcohol made me do it. Blame it on the alcohol, right? And so it puts up a barrier between who you really are and how people perceive you. And it's called liquid courage as well because people feel they can do things when they have a little alcohol in their system that they couldn't do when they're themselves. And that's just a form of not accepting yourself. Because when we accept who we really are, we put it out there. All right. The sugar and alcohol can serve as a substitute for excitement. The corn and alcohol can buffer feelings of failure. And the grain in alcohol can give us a warm feeling, the warm feelings that we may lack in our relationships. So we've got all that going on with alcohol. Yes. All right. Fatty foods. We know the fatty foods. And I'm not talking about avocado. I'm not talking about nuts. I'm talking about the burgers, the fries, the fried chicken, you know, the fatty foods that are also called soul food a lot of times, right? Well, that's associated with shame. Fatty foods hide our internal shame, and they also cocoon us in a bubble of shame. So we're safe from other people. And after all, letting someone in close might make us feel even worse about ourselves. So when we think about shame and we think about fatty foods, we know fat serves as a protector. So we're really just trying to protect ourselves. And we're trying to protect ourselves from this being discovered that we have this shame. Because many times when we're ashamed of something, we do our best to hide that shame, and we mask it with a smile. We mask it with being happy and blessed and telling the world everything is okay. But when we tune in, we know everything is not okay. All right. So when we deal with the shame that we hold, then we can deal with the cravings that we desire in these foods that we crave. So these are a few foods that I've gone through that tells you, you know, when people say I'm an emotional eater, what's next? Okay, acceptance is great, but what's next? The work has to be done to work through that to really get to the other side of it. All right. And by taking stock of your diet and your cravings, you get in touch with the inner heart and you respond to your deeper needs, because we're not craving the food. It's not that we love this food so much. That's never the case. We cannot love food more than our own life, more than being here for our loved ones, more than feeling good, more than being healthy, more than living a full life. We cannot love food that much. And so when we get in touch with our deeper needs in more self-loving ways, all right, it feeds your feelings. It does. And the food cravings, they dissipate. So this is all ideal in alignment. And I said, when the mind and the spirit align, the body will follow. And this is what I mean when I say that. All right. The mind and the spirit has to come into alignment and the body follows. So if you change your attitude and your behavior, your food cravings and your dietary habits will also change and become healthier. All right. I'm glad you tuned in today too, Anita. So we know that, what's the best diet? Did anybody ever say what they thought the best diet was? We're going to go back to that. We know what not to eat. Everybody knows this. When people say, I don't know how to eat healthy, it's a lie. We all know what healthy food is. Every single person in America knows what healthy food is and what unhealthy food is. All right. Healthy foods, the best diet, I'm just going to go ahead and break it down. The best diet, it doesn't matter if it's keto. It doesn't matter if you're vegan. It doesn't matter if you're vegetarian. You can eat any way you want. But what you eat inside of the diet that you choose is what makes all the difference. And what you choose inside that diet, the best diet is a diet that is majority vegetables, fruit, whole grains, nuts, lean proteins. Those are going to be the best foods for any diet. all right, for any diet. And also hydrating yourself with unsweetened beverages, all right? Water is your best bet. And then from there, we don't want anything sweet. Now, when it comes to choosing food, we want to go to the perimeter of the grocery store. And you still have to be careful when you're in the perimeter of the grocery store because these food companies have gotten hip to us being at the perimeter of the grocery store. So now you'll see processed foods. We want to stay away from processed foods. Y'all, processed foods are the devil. What are processed foods? Anything that comes in a package. Anything that comes in a package. Okay, what if you get your apples in a package? Well, if you see an ingredient list that says anything other than apples, it's a processed food. If it just says apples, you're good. If it just says carrots, you're good. If it just says broccoli, bananas, you're good. All right. You want to get your food as close to nature as possible. You want this to be the majority of your diet, no matter what. So we freeze berries, we freeze vegetables. Yes, I know this. And then when it comes to looking at labels, when we're looking at labels, we want to read it. If you see anything that you cannot pronounce in there, it is a processed food. And our body does not process chemicals great, not at all. So to keep things on the shelf longer, chemicals are added to food. And when those chemicals are added to food, we don't know how it affects our body. It's supposed to be safe, but when I look around, all I see are people that are diabetics, people that are getting cancer, people that are getting Alzheimer's, ADD, ADHD. We have all of these diseases that are popping up in our life, yet we're being told our food is all good. Now, what we do know is when we're eating real food as close to nature, that's the best we can ever do. So you don't have to be all or nothing. All right. You don't have to totally eliminate processed foods or fatty foods or things that you enjoy. You don't have to totally eliminate it. But what I like to say is follow the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule is 80% of your diet, which is the majority, a vast majority of your diet, needs to be whole foods. I'm not talking about whole paycheck. You ain't got to go to Whole Foods, the grocery store, but it needs to be real whole food, all right? Real food as close to nature as possible. When you're eating that way, you are going to thrive. You're going to see a big shift in your energy, in your skin, in your nails, in your hair, in your body. You're going to get the results that you want. It's automatic. All right. And okay. I'm just looking at, somebody said they feel seen and a little attacked. Well, I'm not trying to attack you, but we got to go with the truth, okay? Because we're being lied to a lot. You guys know I have talked to people who tell themselves that they're obese, right? And they technically are, and they say their doctors won't even talk to them about losing weight anymore because we've become so sensitive as a country that your doctor can get sued for telling you that you're obese, for telling you that for your health, it's best that you lose weight. Yes, it's happening right now. So we just have to be in acceptance of who we are, what we want, where we want to go. And it's not about guilt. It's not about shame. It's not about any of that. It's just about being real. We just have to be real. And if you really want to change, if you really want to shift, then the work has to be done. All right. So we are going to move on to our homework. So before I go into the homework, we don't want to miss tomorrow. Not at all. You know the 4 habits, but you do not want to miss tomorrow. So what we're going to do for homework, we are starting right now. And for the next 24 hours, have only unsweetened drinks and eat a new fruit or vegetable that you have never tasted. All right. Or perhaps something that you didn't like as a child. Have an open mind. So when I was younger, I didn't like vegetables at all. I told you guys that I didn't like vegetables at all. Oh my gosh. Like canned vegetables, greens with a lot of fat in it, and maybe some cabbage with bacon in it. I had to have I When I was younger, I had to have meat in all of my veggies. All right. And it's just because my family's from the South and that's how we ate. And so my 45-year-old self, I am so glad is not being run by my 8-year-old self who wouldn't eat anything. And so as we evolve as people, we get to evolve in our taste buds. This is one thing too. When we're eating a lot of processed foods, when we're eating a diet that's high in sugar and salt, salty foods, sugary foods, processed foods, it's all meant to be addictive. And it really is. Sugar is an addiction. So when we're eating those foods, it puts a coating over our taste buds and we cannot taste food the same anymore. All right. And so we need to do some type of detox or reset. Yes, that's a little clue into what's coming tomorrow in order to get our taste buds reset because we're so used to eating that food. When we're not eating it or when we taste something that's not really salty or something that's not really sweet, it just tastes bad. And we think we don't like that food. But really, it's because our body is addicted to the salt and addicted to the sugar. So, you are going to, back to your homework, you are going to have only unsweetened drinks for the next 24 hours. I would say water. If it can be water, let it be water, but it doesn't have to be. Just no sugar, okay? And if it's not anything else, make sure it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in it. All right, no preservatives, no things that you cannot pronounce. If anything, put a little bit of fruit juice or something. And when I say fruit juice, I mean squeeze a lemon, squeeze an orange, put something in your water to give it flavor. So have that for the next 24 hours. All right. And then taste something, eat something, a piece of fruit or vegetable that you did not like as a child or that you've never tried before. So we're going to be adventurous. That's a way to add some excitement to your life, right? Try something that you haven't tried before. All right. Yes, monk fruit is great. There are no fruits or vegetables that are off limits. You can have the variety. And we know the more that we eat the rainbow, the more variety we get in our life, the better, because all of these fruits and vegetables have their micro and macronutrients. And it's really the essential vitamins and minerals that we get from fruit and veggies that get our body going in a good way. All right, bonus homework. While you do this, all right, while you're not drinking anything sweet, I want you to notice if any cravings come up. And in the next 24 hours, notice what your body is craving. That's all you have to do. Just notice what your body is craving, and you can share it on Facebook. So let's say your body is craving, oh, I want some chips. Your body's craving chips right now. I want you to go deeper and I want you to think, what is my body really craving? What is it really craving? What am I really craving as a human being? All right, when we can answer that question, we have unlocked. Those are the keys, y'all. You have unlocked what you need to do to master your body. All right, that's a major key. All righty. And tomorrow, we're going to be putting it all together. We're going to create a winning plan. All right. We're going to create that winning plan to master your body, to look good. Oh, you said monk fruit as a sweetener. Well, we'll have to talk about that later. See, what happens, we don't want to take away we don't want to just take something and pull the sugar out of it and just have that. We want to eat the entire fruit. That's always going to be better. All right. So even like coconut sugar, sugar is sugar. When it boils down to it, when you're adding extra sugar, sugar is sugar. It really is. And yes, some of them don't have the chemicals, and that would be better, but we want to avoid added sugars. All right. We want to avoid added sugars as far as this little 24-hour challenge goes. Sugar has its place. And I'll say one more thing with sugar. So let's say we take the sugar out of monk fruit, right? And it's coming from a good, clean source, but cane sugar is too. But you're eliminating all of the phytonutrients that come from that plant. So that's why it's going to be better to eat the fruit, because you get the vitamins, the minerals, and the nutrients and the fiber that comes from eating the entire fruit. So it's always going to be better to eat the whole food versus taking a nutrient out of it. And there are so many micronutrients that we have not even discovered. So we don't even know it all. We don't know every single detail about the food that we're eating, but we do know when it's together in its whole form, it's perfect. All right. And it digests in our body well, and it provides nutrition for our body in a perfect way. So we're going to stick to that. All right, guys, we are off. You can put questions in the comments. I'll be looking through the comments a little bit later. And I want you guys to put that on Facebook. Last time I looked, we don't have a winner for that cropped hoodie. But I'm going to give you guys another chance. Go through, do all the homework, and I'm going to my mind is going faster than my mouth is willing to speak. So I'm going to announce a grand prize winner tomorrow. So do all of your homework if you want to be entered to get you some Healthy Tribe swag. All right, this is a sweatshirt that I'm wearing, and it might be up for grabs tomorrow along with something else. So let me know if you have questions. Thank you so much for tuning into the challenge so far. You guys are awesome. I will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time. Have an amazing day.